Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankarashayamadhyamam Admadasharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Vishwaro Guratmeti Murti Veda Vibhavine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Sedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. We are back on Gita. I have to organize myself because I'm transferring the text to this old computer here of my brother, but it's so slow. I couldn't open it in here, the full Gita transcription of Swami Paramarthananda. So I'm doing piece by piece, and I have saved it somewhere here, and I couldn't find. And I was almost ready to say, okay, so let's do a Q&A session today, and then I found it. So let's see. Let's go from there. In the last few classes, Swami Paramarthananda was talking about the role of meditation. For a Vedantic seeker, we should remember that the role of meditation that we are talking about is purely from the standpoint of a seeker of liberation. That takes us into Vedanta. So from the standpoint of Vedanta, meditation, is just a sadhana which brings us to self-knowledge and moksha. It's not something which is going to bring about some mystical experience or beautiful, mystical, spiritual silence or whatever, bliss or ecstasy. No, we are talking about secret liberation, and then we talk. We're on the same page. Meditation for us is what nididhyasana, but we make a concession for upasana in the sense of helping the mind to develop one-pointedness, as we have established already. Kami Yoga is going to more naturally, easily take care of the impurities of the mind, and then upasana can bring about one-pointedness. You remember one of these previous classes we were looking at that, that the inferior, the middle, and the superior seeker or student. So the middle one it has some purity but does not have focus or one-pointedness. Therefore, in those cases, some upasana is required before one goes into the nididhyasana, which is the Vedantic meditation. Our scriptures do discuss meditation from the standpoint of attaining certain powers, extraordinary powers, talked about in some of our Veda scriptures, in Puranas, as well as the Yoga Shastra. And some Vedantic seekers are not at all interested, and a Vedantic seeker is not at all interested in extraordinary powers. It's very interesting that Swami Paramarthananda here, he says that our scriptures, maybe he's meaning to say that our Vedic or Hindu scriptures, also discuss meditation from the standpoint of gaining some seed powers, some miraculous powers, some extraordinary powers. But then he comes and says, but a true seeker of moksha will not be interested in pursuing those powers, extraordinary powers. Because even these extraordinary powers are going to be samsara, uh, extraordinary samsara. They are going to lead to a lot of problems. So the same thing, the person is limited. He has certain powers, but the person next to him may have more powers, better powers. Comparison is going to be there, jealous, competition. Samsara is there. In any case, wherever there is plurality, diversity, there is problem. There are many problems. Therefore, in the yoga shastras, all miraculous powers are considered to be obstacle to true spiritual progress. Therefore, Vedantic seeker is not interested in this practicing meditation for those kinds of purpose. We are purely interested in gaining self-knowledge and the consequent benefits of liberation. And fortunately, liberation does not require extraordinary powers. So beautiful, so simple. But somehow, uh, most people believe, okay, I understood, but how about I get both? I want both because then I'm a superior yani. I'm a superior, enlightened person because I have some siddhi powers and I have self-knowledge and moksha. You know, so the desire of having both is already a bondage. It's already a limitation. Because for one reason, you want to have certain powers, knowing that all powers are mutual powers, they're never going to free you. And then you say, oh, but I want both. It's exactly like the person who say, no, I want to be successful in the world, and for the as far as mundane purpose accomplishments. But I want to be millionaire, but I want to have self-knowledge. I want to be a millionaire, a billionaire self-knowledge. So how about that? A billionaire yen sounds good, huh? I want to be a billionaire yen. No, they are conflicting goals. They are going to conflict one another. You understand? Because this simple desire for powers, extraordinary powers or worldly powers, as the power of having $1 billion in your bank account, it gives you a sense of power and security. So, but you can be a yogi and have certain other powers. Both powers are going to bound the person to themselves, you know. So therefore, a person who really wants liberation, period, wants self-knowledge, period. Understand? Because all our desires need to be consumed by the desire for moksha until moksha becomes the only desire. It does not mean to say that the yani cannot enjoy the world. It can. In fact, it's gonna finally enjoy it, once it got self-knowledge. Because now he's just playing the games of this material world without expectations, knowing perfectly well that he himself, her herself, is the only source of security and true happiness. So therefore, the game is just like a play, a theater. Fortunately, liberation does not require any extraordinary powers, but we have got yanis with extraordinary powers as well. And we have got people with powers who are just anyanis. So how about that? In fact, in our Puranas, most of the Rakshasas had extraordinary powers, and in fact, they abused their powers for certain personal material benefits, and therefore that particular chapter we should completely ignore. We are interested in purification of mind, gaining self-knowledge, assimilating self-knowledge, internalizing self-knowledge, and be transformed so that we can exhaust this human karma in peace and gratitude for the opportunity. If by karma, a yogi with certain powers gets self-knowledge, so what? You know, the indication that that yani was really purified in the fire of self-knowledge is that they are never going to demonstrate that power to anybody, you know? Power happens to the mind. Mind is Nietzsche mind. I am limitless consciousness, and I'm not here to make any show. So if certain powers were there because I had some seed vasanas or some tendency, or I worked on that before I became aware of the futility of having such a power. So the power is there, but I'm no longer a showman, you know, try to. I mean, if somebody is showing power, it just shows that the person is still deluded to a certain degree. Uh, how many powers were attributed to Ramana Maharaj? And Ramana Maharaj had never claimed those powers to be really his powers. Mhm. Once you get the highest, you just you're indifferent to those lower gains of life. That's the point here, you know. You have got the highest, the most precious thing, and now you don't need to go around showing those inferior gains or accomplishments. You know? We want to gain self-knowledge and assimilation. And here Swami is saying that meditation or nididhyasana is a twofold. It has a twofold role. The first one is before the start of scripture, the other is after the start of the scriptures. The first one is technically called upasana, no? Is the meditation to further refine, prepare the mind, no? So that the mind can go through the Shravana and Manana and the Vedantic meditation in Jijasana. And how can we practice this Nididhyasana? So we're going to meditate on the final revelations or declarations of identity contained in the Upanishads. So of course we need to know, we need to start, and we need to clear those vagueness or abstractions, you know, with the help of Guru. And then we have the knowledge. Only then we can do Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is impossible without receiving the knowledge, because you're going to meditate on the knowledge. The knowledge must be very, very clean and clear, doubtless clear knowledge. And then I can internalize by doing my Vedantic Nididhyasana meditation. The start process is called Shravana and Manana, or Jnana Yoga. And therefore, the entire spiritual journey can be presented in three stages: Upasana, Jnana Yoga, and Nididhyasana. This is very beautiful. First time I see him presenting it that way. One has to go through Upasana for further preparing the mind. And in the class, I talk about Vipassana as Saguneshwara Dhyana. And more about Vipassana will be taught later in this chapter 6. Vipassana is preparation of the mind, Jnana Yoga Pratihi Sadhana, you know, Sampati, Katustasaya. Kastutaya Sampati, or single end purification and integration of the mind. So Swami talks about integration of the mind. Vipassana serves to purify and to integrate. This expression, integration, it took me some time to understand what he was pointing to. Is the right balance between the different centers of the mind, the different centers of the subtle body, our emotional center, our intellectual center, our ego center, our memory center. Everything is balanced, is geometrically, balanced in a way that the individual is properly integrated. So, meaning to say that a person may have a wonderful, pure heart, but a very poor intellect, and someone may have great intellect, but somehow emotionally it's impure. You understand? So this knowledge has to go and spread roots through the different centers of the subtle body, and then in the physical, and then in the causal body. Physical also is going to be the benefit, so that the person is properly integrated, so that the knowledge is not isolating one aspect of my subtle body, and it's not benefiting myself on my emotional personality, as Swami Ji sometimes puts it. And this upasana should be followed by Jnana Yoga, which is consistent and systematic study of the scriptures for a length of time under the guidance of a competent acharya. And this study alone gives self-knowledge. So how are we going to get self-knowledge? Shravana and Manana, which is the Jnana Yoga, 1/3. He said Upasana, Jnana Yoga, and Nididhyasana. So we get some self-knowledge of Shravana and then Manana, clearing the doubts. Only by Shravana and Manana I get my self-knowledge. The scriptures serve as a mirror to give us the knowledge, reflecting back to us our true nature identity. If one does not gain knowledge by the study of the scriptures, there is no way of gaining knowledge through any other method. How about that? Many people may challenge that statement. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, possibly people will challenge it. People will possibly say they can gain knowledge through meditation, or many ways. But like you say, the pure knowledge is in the scriptures, and that's where we get it.
Yeah.
And also, with your help, with the help of a competent guru who can really unfold that knowledge.
Yeah. So, as we know, we don't get knowledge in silence. We don't get knowledge as a good Kama Yoga. We get knowledge by exposing the intellect, which was properly prepared to receive this knowledge at the end of the Vedas. It's going to develop the vision of Nandwale, the vision of the self. You see Brahman as the only reality, as the substratum of this appearing universe. If I use a mirror to see my face, I have no other alternative except in using it properly. So you need to use the mirror properly. Perhaps there is some dust in the mirror, wipe it out, and then this is the concept that the guru needs to help us to use this mirror efficiently, or properly. So you need to have a good pair of eyes as well. Good intellect, a pure intellect. Therefore, not only take care of your mind, but take care of your eyes and your ears if you're going to read the scriptures and listen to the teacher. So your instruments must be good as well. But there is only one method of seeing your face, and you see only, by opening your eyes. There is only one method of seeing your face, and that is using the mirror and opening your eyes. Therefore, scripture study is the means of self-knowledge. The Upanishad clearly says Vedanta, the Jnana Yoga is the only means of self-knowledge. Therefore, Upasana, Jnana Yoga, Nididhyasana, prepare the mind. Nididhyasana then is the meditation after Jnana was gained. So, what is the purpose of Nididhyasana? Assimilation and internalization of self-knowledge. So now that you have this self-knowledge, after Shravana and Manana, after Upasana, Dhamma Yoga, and so on, so now I have a clear, doubtless knowledge in respect to reality, in respect to my nature, and now I need to digest this knowledge so that it transforms my personality, transforms my life, and that is the purpose of Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana, an obsession in regards to this knowledge, to the extent that I wanted to transform my personality, because I'm not satisfied only with intellectual self-knowledge, let's say, I don't want this self-knowledge to be compartmentalized in one side of my mind, and then my life and my knowledge are not harmonized, no? Are not properly integrated. So I want my life to be a reflection of this knowledge. I want to reap the fruits of self-knowledge. Therefore, I keep doing my nididhyasana because I had found nothing better to do in this life than this. I would like to add a few more ideas with regard to this assimilation of self-knowledge, because here also several doubts may come. After gaining knowledge by the study of the scriptures, a person contemplates on the knowledge received from the teacher. The knowledge is going to say that I'm not the body-mind complex, I'm not the mind, I'm not the senses, I am consciousness, awareness, that principle which is aware of the body-mind-sense complex. This knowledge he gathers from Shravana Manana, and meditation after knowledge is for what purpose? We should not think that meditation is for converting knowledge into Brahman experience. This is one of the general misconceptions. Meditation after scripture study is not to produce an experience of the self. So that much we know. Some people may still, under that misconception, believe that one thing is the theory, another thing is the practice. I want to have an experience of limitless consciousness because I don't believe in knowledge alone. Then Vedanta presents the simple concept that knowledge alone is what transforms the individual, but it transforms the life of the individual only to the extent that that knowledge is properly integrated in our whole personality, in all aspects of our human experience. So therefore, we have this concept of assimilation, contemplation, which brings about assimilation, internalization, integration of different aspects of my human body, mind, sense complex, in the way that all aspects of my five koshas and so on, everything is going to be a reflection or benefit by this self-knowledge, which was properly internalized and integrated in all aspects of my human life. There's no question of having an experience, because all experience by nature is bound by time, come and go. They come, they go, they come, they go, they come and they go. And we are never really transformed by any experience, only understanding transform. I mean, we know that from the early days when we are trying to do some therapy to feel better about ourselves, that just a click of understanding here and there gradually is going to produce a betterment and improvement of my mental, psychological personality. No? You understand here, you understand that, understanding, knowledge, and knowledge that has the power to transform, and all these small knowledge in regards to our psychology, the structure of my mental, emotional, psychological structure. These things we know that it keeps clicking, and we see a gradual, slow but gradual improvement in the body mind sense complex from this angle. And then we get to the final knowledge, which is a knowledge that is not in reference to any aspect of the body mind sense complex, but in respect to the true nature of the body mind sense complex. That knowledge, if it does not transform radically the sense of experience, the sense of existence of the body mind complex, and then we in the field of philosophy or academic knowledge, because that's the knowledge that, boom, it should really produce a radical transformation, improvement, betterment of the body, mind, sense complex. So the body, only self-knowledge business talk is to benefit the body, mind, sense complex. Because consciousness is not an experiencing knowing entity, and it's already free, and it does not need to remember that it's free, because it's beyond freedom and bondage. So this is for the Jivatma. That's the purpose of self-knowledge. And we need to go through Shravana and Manana. And there is no question of expecting an experience that could validate my knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge. But as long as it remains as a suggestion, as a notion, as an idea, it's not going to transform. It needs to become a fact. And that is the unique nature of self-knowledge, which is presented technically as a paroksha jnana, or knowledge that occurs in the intellect, but it's not an objective, dualistic knowledge, objective knowledge, but it's knowledge in regards to the true nature of the knower. And that knowledge should be an explosion that really, sometimes it's not really felt because it's so gradual, the process, but it must be so clearly evident, the transformation that this assimilation of self-knowledge produces. So therefore, meditation after scripture study, Nididhyasana, is not to produce an experience of Brahman. Many people understood it like that, but if you study scripture properly with the help of a guru, you will know that you do not need an experience of Brahman because you are Brahman and your inferior nature as the body mind sense complex is having experience of the world, meanwhile experiencing this original light of conscious existence, which is blessing the body mind sense complex, you know, with the knowing experiencing capacity, in this apparent order. So to know the experience. So every time, every experience is being blessed by Brahman, my true nature. So I don't need to have an experience of Brahman because I am Brahman, consciousness. Our texts are going to suggest that Brahman is the only thing which is experienced at all times, as we know. Tell me a time that you're not experienced Brahman. Yeah, but I don't experience Brahman in the sense as an object of experience. I experience Brahman as my true nature, as yeah, the conscious existence that is blessing this instrument of knowledge and experience. So I experience this human consciousness, which is enough proof of consciousness. I experience this human existence, which is enough evidence of my pure existence. And then I need to understand what it is, this experiential consciousness and existence. Is it of limited nature or unlimited nature? If I make a confusion between the mind and this Brahman, and then I see, no, I know I experience this consciousness and I experience this existence, but the moment that I experience it, I feel that I am limited. Therefore, I'm not really Brahman. So that's where Vedanta comes to further investigate the nature of Brahman as our very nature until we are fully convinced that our true nature is limitless conscious existence. And then we integrate the Ananda aspect of my true nature into my conscious existence aspect as well. If there is one thing in life for whose experience you need not put forth an effort, is to experience your conscious existence. You just need to understand that it's limitless. It's not the mind. And your existence is not tied up to existence of this food body, this physical body. You have to have the proper perspective of what this I is, and then you integrate the another aspect to your conscious existence. Consciousness is the only thing which is evident, self-shining at all times. In fact, everything else becomes evident only because of this conscious existence. To look at a person there, I have to turn the face. To look at a person there, I have to turn the face, but to experience the light of consciousness. So he's saying, anything I need to, for experience something of this world, at least I need to have my instruments perception on and direct to a certain thing or object. But to experience consciousness, I don't need to turn around because I am soaking consciousness as consciousness, or the body mind sense complex soaking consciousness. So when you soak into something like that, you make no effort to see it, quote unquote, experience it as the essence. I don't need to turn my face. Whenever I turn, I experience consciousness, the light of consciousness. In fact, every word you are hearing now is only heard because of this consciousness. And how are you conscious of consciousness? This is a good inquiry. Huh? How are you conscious of consciousness? Oh, so there are two consciousness, and then I don't know about this business of realities, non-duality. There is only one consciousness because I'm conscious of consciousness. Huh? How are you conscious? You do not require another consciousness to be conscious of consciousness because consciousness is self-reflective, self-evident, and self-conscious. That consciousness is Brahman. Why we say self-knowledge, self-conscious, because consciousness is self-conscious. Understand? It does not require another consciousness. The consciousness is self-conscious, but consciousness is also conscious of whatsoever happens. We see in consciousness as a phenomenal object. So the consciousness is going to be conscious of the thoughts, the vasanas, and emotions. And this consciousness is going to be conscious of the mind, the concept. It's going to be conscious of the teachings of the Upanishads. But how this consciousness is going to be conscious of consciousness? There are no two consciousness. Consciousness is conscious of any and everything which can be known, and this consciousness is self-conscious. Okay? Now, shines by itself, it's self-contained. It has its own light. It's like to take a torchlight to illumine the full moon. It's not going to add any light to it because the full moon is shining beautifully. And then you don't need to further bring any means to reveal it. So we reveal the phenomenal objects, such as the mind and the intellect and their contents. But you can never illumine consciousness because it has its own light, and in fact, it's the light of consciousness that allows us to shed light in phenomenal objects. It's self-evident. The scriptures point out that you need not work for Brahman experience. Therefore, meditation after scripture study is not for experience Brahman, but meditation after scripture is for experiencing. Yana Bala, so beautiful. Huh? Nididhyasana is not for having an experience of Brahman because I understood I am Brahman. Why am I doing all the Nididhyasana? Because I want to experience the fruits of his knowledge. And this is only possible if I properly internalize to the extent that is going to transform my life and the way I see the world. I want to experience the fruits of self-knowledge. Self-knowledge does not need to remain just as knowledge without its fragrance. I like to present this analogy of fragrance. So just imagine you have this beautiful flower of knowledge, but it has no fragrance. You understand? So it needs to have its fragrance. Fragrance is wisdom. Wisdom, peace, 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 shanti. Here he says, experience the benefit of knowledge completely, the benefit of knowledge being shanti, the most important one, peace, fullness, contentment, satisfaction, lack of fear and desires, a sense of security, and nothing can really happen to my true self, No anxiety in regards to the situation of the world. We leave this appearing world to Ishvara, and we know that anything may happen to this body mind, but nothing can touch me. This is the sense of security and confidence in the mind of the knower who has really experienced the benefits of this knowledge. Yanapala. Why we are doing that? We want not only Yana, we want the Yanapala. And with no excuse that, no, I don't care for Yanapala because I am Brahman and that's good enough. But if you are Brahman and if you behave as if you are Jiva, moved by strong ragas and diversions, you're going to cause confusion in people's mind as well. You understand? So we want to have the Yanapala Anubhava. We have to dwell upon this knowledge, which is called assimilation and internalization, until this Yana is Yana Nista, is Yana or Jivan Mukti. And how this meditation is practiced, Krishna himself is going to tell us in this chapter. I want to give you only the bird's eye view of this chapter 6. So thus, Upasana, meditation number 1, to prepare, further prepare, purify, and refine the mind, study the scriptures to attain this knowledge, clear knowledge, and then Nididhyasana, meditation number 2, so that we can benefit from it. We can experience not Brahman, but the benefits of self-knowledge, which is nothing but peace. Oh, I haven't read this introduction when I did this Gita in Portuguese language, and I'm enjoying so greatly because I have been saying again and again that peace is underestimated in the world, and people like to believe that access and happiness and other things are the most valuable. Passion is most valuable human experience. The most valuable thing is peace, but very few people understand the value of peace. Peace and sense of completion, security, fullness. The first meditation is called Vipassana. The second meditation is called Nididhyasana. The 6th chapter of the Gita is about the Vedantic meditation. This entire 6th chapter of the Gita is about Nididhyasana Yoga. Nididhyasana Yoga, which is the Vedantic meditation. I love this one as well because he's going to repeat it over and over again. Because before I used to believe that this 6th chapter of the Gita is just a concession to ignorance, because I was believing that it was all about upasana to produce one-pointedness. And I was inclined to believe that purification and one-pointedness is more easily gained by Karma Yoga and observance of Dharma. Somehow, I was always imagining that Upasana was a dangerous business because the moment it produced beautiful states of samadhi, the individual uh, gets caught up into, gets bound to those states and does not move. Because it was more or less my experience. This is frustrating. So, but no, Upasana is indeed valuable, but the 6th chapter of the Gita is about Nididhyasana Yoga. Understand? Although it says, okay, Upasana is there for further development of mind if it's required, if it's necessary. Now, the entire 6th chapter can be divided in 5 main topics. Number 1, general preparations for meditation. Samanya Sadhanani. A general preparation for meditation, by which we mean those preparations or those disciplines which to be observed throughout our transactions. It's not a discipline to be practiced just before meditation, but they are the discipline to be observed throughout our day-to-day transaction. And here we present the first one is general preparations for meditation. This general preparation for meditation is observance of the way you live your life. And further in this chapter 6, Swamiji is going to say this is nothing but Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is the base. Without Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga is almost impossible. Without Karma Yoga, it's almost impossible you develop a pure one-pointedness mind. Focus and pure mind without Karma Yoga is very difficult. So the general preparation is alive in observance to Dharma and with a spirit of devotion, reverence and love and gratitude. Dedicate our actions to the Lord. So that day-to-day attitude and knowledge, understanding, in my transactions is called the general phase 1 into meditation, dhyana. Dhyana begins with the general observance or general conduct, disciplines. What is the significance of general disciplines? I will tell you later. We will not touch this much here. The second topic discussed is specific disciplines or specific preparation, Vishesha Sadhanani, which are to be observed just before meditation, not through the day, through my transaction, but only shortly before I begin my meditation, my Upasana Dhyana, or my Nididhyasana Dhyana. They are called Vishesha Sadhanani or Antaranga Sadhanani, or in English, specific preparation. This is the second one, and he's going to elaborate it very nicely and easily to understand. The third topic that we find in this chapter is the nature of dhyana. Dhyana is rupam, the process of meditation. What is meditation? Is it concentrating on something? Is it remaining thoughtless, a silent mind, a no mind? Is it a distraction of the mind? Or is it going away from the mind, transcending the mind? So what is meditation? This is most fundamental question, because there are so many different descriptions of what is meditation. Some will say it's concentration. Some will say, no, it's deconcentration. You understand? It just remain like without concentrating in anything. So many different people, different circles are going to define meditation and the nature of meditation, the purpose of meditation. It's nothing to do with destroying the mind. Many definitions are there of meditation, so we should know what is meditation. In Sanskrit, we call it dhyana. The nature of meditation, dhyana sarupam. This is the top 3. General preparation, specific preparation, the nature of meditation. The 4th topic is the benefit of meditation, this benefit of any sadhana, Vedantic sadhana appears, because we want to be motivated by what we're going to gain. We're going to gain what? Yanampala. And what is Yanampala? Shanti, peace, confidence that nothing can really threaten my sense of security and peace. The 4th topic is the benefit of meditation, Yanampala. Are we going to get miraculous power like levitation and so on? Am I going to fly? In fact, some people, they are more like into having this experience, moving into a different dimension. ascending. There is this concept of ascending. I'm going to ascend into other dimensions and so on. In fact, some of you may like also seeing the road condition and the flowers and other bridges. Perhaps you may wonder whether it is worth trying, whether you can fly to the clouds. So he's just pulling the leg of some people. They'll say like, oh, you want to have some powers, you want to fly in meditation. Okay, it may happen that you leave your body and you start flying. You say, ooh, okay, this is the purpose of my meditation. So what do you gain by that? What do you gain? It's just another experience. Oh no, I want to be able to read the thoughts of my neighbors or my friends. I want to predict the future. Oh, I want to know my past lives. Oh, I'm going to have access to all my previous lives. What is really expected of Vedantic meditation? What is the pattern with regards to Vedanta meditation? And then the fifth topic is the obstacles and the remedies. So the fifth and last topic is okay, we may face some obstacles, and then Krishna presents the remedies, Viveka and Vairagya. How to handle those obstacles. In Sanskrit, Dhyanam Prachibandha Pariharavu. And Parihara means remedy. Obstacles like sleep. Whenever you sit in meditation, you may get sleep. You may get sleep in any other place, but one place and one exercise that guarantees sleep is meditation. Meditation is prescribed also to replace those sleeping drugs, against insomnia. We use it to cure insomnia, like that sleep or distraction of mind. Many obstacles are discussed in this sixth chapter. Krishna also mentions one obstacle and also tells us how to deal with that. He's going to mention every one of those obstacles, being excess of tamoguna, which brings about sleep, sleepiness. And then the other one is excess of rajoguna that does not allow the mind to concentrate on the object of meditation. Meditation, from Vedanta standpoint, requires an object of meditation, and the mind needs to be able to hold itself in that object of meditation. And when the mind has too much extroversion, rajoguna, it's going to be wandering all over the place. And Krishna will tell us how to deal with that kind of problem. And then there are some other problems, subconscious problems that are a little bit more abstract, but they are there. These five talks are there. Five talks are there: general preparation, specific preparation, meditation process, benefit of meditation, and finally the obstacles and their remedy. These are five main topics. There is a sixth talk also, but it's not directly connected with meditation. Therefore, I'm ignoring it. We have only to note these five. Of these five, Krishna starts with general preparation. I will tell you the significance of general preparation, why Krishna insisted on general preparation. We have got only one mind to do our day-to-day transactions and also to practice meditation. It's not what it's not that we have got two minds, one mind for doing things and one mind to meditate. No, we have only one mind. When I go out for a transaction, you insert mind number one, and you go through all kinds of doings, experience, and samsara, disappointments. So, and then what happens with that? So I say, no, no, when I live my life, it's okay to suffer and to respond violently to anything, because I'm using my number one mind, my mundane mind, my mind to go and get things done. Okay. And then I have to go through all these ups and downs and all the strong, violent, disturbing emotions. It's natural. That's how things are because I'm working now. No? So no, we have only one mind. We don't have minds such as if I go, I work for 10 hours a day, and then I experience all kinds of disturbance. And then I come mind and I say, okay, now I get my mind number two, which is my mind for meditation, and all is good. No, I have only one mind. So the mind that I went about my day, getting all over the place, experience all kinds of emotional disturbing things, is the mind that I'm going to have to meditate. No? Therefore, my interaction should be already the first aspect, the general aspect of my sadhana. I have to interact with the world, my environment, in a way that I prepare my mind for upasana or nididhyasana. You understand? So my interaction should not work against my the nature of my upasana or nididhyasana or the gaining of the benefits of this upasana. So therefore, since I have only one mind, I have to be very careful the way I use it when I'm going about transacting, navigating the world for the sake of, uh, of living my life. No? Before taking meditation, if the mind is frustrated, disappointed, anger, the mind is not going to allow me to go into meditation and much less to gain the fruits of meditation. That's not the fact. The same mind is sitting meditation. It's the same mind that is going to go out there. So we need to transform our day-to-day transaction life in a sort of sadhana, in a sort of meditation. First stage of meditation. We talk about Kama Yoga. Otherwise, I'm going to be gaining all those strong impressions, imprints in my mind that are going to be an incredible obstacle to my meditation. I'm quarreling with my boss and this, fighting and discussing. I have to take care of our mind while interacting with my environment. This emotional disturbance during my interaction with the field will make it impossible for me to meditate, will influence adversely my meditation. I mean, you probably have experienced such as myself, moment that the mind is so disturbed, but I want to go to meditate, and you have to stay there for 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes trying to calm down the mind. And sometimes you stand up and go away because the mind is impossible today, because the mind was already going through strong mental emotional disturbance. So whatever transaction I'm having, I have to do in a way that does not create negative emotional impacts. And that may be uh, negative impacts by getting very happy experience or unhappy experience. Therefore, Krishna tells you should learn the art of living, the art of interacting, navigating this world, keeping the mind in balance. In equanimity, this is called samatva. And by balance, we do not mean no emotional mind. We mean beautiful emotions. We do not mean emotionless mind, because if you are totally free of emotion, there will be no difference between you and the wall before you. That's why the parents also ask, if you sit without emotions, why are you sitting like a stone? Do you not hear what I'm saying, my child? We are not talking about becoming an emotionless stone. We do have emotions. Our emotions need to be purified. Our emotions must become, yeah, devotion, love, compassion, gratitude. Those are beautiful emotions. Positive mind, emotional mind. Mind that is balanced so that it does not suffer violent response. You come to the class of Vedanta having a mind with all those violent impressions, and and then you will not be really going through the Shravana and Manana, you know. And if you go to try to meditate, it's going to be impossible. You're going to stand up quickly and go and do something else. You need to develop samatva so that those sorrowful situations do not leave strong impressions in your mind. Mind needs to be free for the next job. This is called mental mastery. So this samatva is a precondition for successful meditation. In fact, it is presented as the first general aspect of meditation, which is synonymous of, say, karma yoga. Therefore, this samatva is one of the preconditions, not the only one. Krishna is going to talk about a few other preconditions, but precondition number one that Krishna stresses is samatva, equanimity. Now the question is, how can I gain equanimity and balanced mind? How to get samatva? And if you ask such a question to Lord Krishna, he will he will be disappointed. Lord Krishna will be disappointed because Krishna has talked about samatva in the second chapter and third chapter dedicated to Karma Yoga. In the second chapter, verse 48, Krishna has presented Karma Yoga as a way of life, as a means of samatva. Karma Yoga is samatva, therefore, in the first three verses, Krishna here will talk about Karma Yoga as the art of living, to enjoy a balanced mind so that you can do your meditation. Beautiful. Okay, my friends. Next class, we're going to move into the first verse. He who performs the action to be done without expecting the results of action is a real sanyāsi and not a renouncer of rituals. Moreover, he's a yogi, is not a renouncer of activities. The first verse of chapter 6, pure Karma Yoga. Okay. Anything for you guys?
This class reminded me when I was first taught meditation, the first exercise we did in meditation was called the shower breath. And this was actually breathing in and then breathing out, imagining a shower was cleaning our energy system so that we could actually forget all the transactions of the day. It was relatively effective, but not nearly as effective as having a balanced life and living a karma life, yoga lifestyle.
Very
But
nice.
it was interesting to remember that.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Very nice.
Another thing that, oh, sorry. Today's lesson, when we were discussing that you have one mind for transactional world and for your knowledge and spiritual life. And it was beautiful reinforcement from what you told me yesterday about how, just put it aside. You can't know the truth. You can't, this is up to Ishvara. It's just nice reinforcement.
Yeah. Karma yoga is very powerful, and I
Yeah.
was going to say, Mark was sharing this exercise. You visualize a shower, and Karma yoga is a huge shower that keeps purifying, because you are just renouncing any expectation regards to the results and developing this remembrancing that everything is the Lord. So Karma yoga is very, very efficacious in developing samatva. Yeah. Very nice. Okie dokie. So we go back to Mandukya this coming Monday. No? And we meet soon again. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alinda.
Meet you soon again.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye.